What advice would I have from entrepreneurs looking to raise capital from institutional investors? I guess I would have to say it's a couple of things. First off, I'd even ask the question, do you want to raise institutional capital? I've been involved with a couple of different startups now, some of which we've raised money and some of which we've self-financed ourselves. So believe me, there are all sorts of pros and cons for each. But I think the first thing, and this is what I was talking about before, if you're thinking about institutional money, even though it seems like it, it's not a commodity. Who you raise money from matters. You want people, or you want investors, people that are going to be on your board. It's almost like entering a marriage. You want them, and you want to tie yourself with institutions that you think are really going to reflect the values that you have personally, but then also are going to be there and going to be helpful. It's interesting, when we raised money from SSM Ventures a long time ago, this was back in the early 2000s, I would talk to my other entrepreneur friends about upcoming board meetings. And they would treat their board meetings as like this huge headache, equivalent to going to the dentist to get a filling put in. And I'm not saying that we didn't have to work to get ready for our board meetings, but our board meetings were usually good events because I know the people that were sitting on the other side of the table were there to help me and trying to make my business better. And that's really what you want from a capital institutional money.
I think raising capital is a very important and interesting process. I think you need to be very careful during this process. I think you have to be honest. It's all about the relationship. And you need to make certain in that process that you take the time to determine whether the relationship is there or not. Is the person you're actually having the conversation with going to be the person that learns your business, going to be the person that answers the phone when you need something, going to provide the resources that you're relying on? Take your time, assess that carefully. It's a really, really important decision.
I'd say make sure you know what you're getting yourself into and that you pick the right partner. One of the things I really loved about SSM is the people. They're quality people, top to bottom. Everyone who's part of that firm is someone that you'd enjoy going out for a drink or going to a ball game or just hanging out with. Make sure you don't get enamored just with the money and the valuation, but that you realize these are people that are going to help you build your business. Do you really want to spend lots of time with them?
These investors are going to do a lot of question asking of you, and they're going to be digging into your business and into you as an individual. I think it's very important that the entrepreneur does the same, just back to that institutional investors. What's their history? What's their past? What's their intention? What happens when things go poorly? What happens when things go well? So really taking the time and not be afraid. It's like in an interview, right? Sometimes it's best to ask the questions at the end about the business that you're interviewing for. Entrepreneurs should not worry about that at all. Second of all is, do you really need the investment? Why are you doing this? Do you need the capital from outside? If the answer is yes, then certainly move forward. If the answer is no, I still think there's at times where you go seek institutional investors because they can validate your business and they can accelerate your growth. So I'd say even though you may or may not be firm on that you need an outside round of investment, I think it's a good lesson to go out and explore what type of relationships and what type of institution can move your business forward.
Institutional investors, at the end of the day, are investing in your business to generate a return. You may have the most wonderful idea, but the way you measure execution is quantitatively. So you need to know the numbers. You need to understand what the venture world considers distribution economics. What does it cost you to acquire a new customer? How long is it going to take to pay back that acquisition cost? Because the majority of the funding that you're receiving from the institutional investment world is to build out a sales and marketing distribution channel.
My advice to an entrepreneur raising capital is to be very intentional about evaluating the personal relationship you're going to have with the investor. There's going to be happy times, there's going to be some challenging times along the way. And you want someone that you're working with that you can trust, you've got a good personal relationship with. It's not just about the money, it's not just about the terms, it's not just about the valuation. It's about bringing on someone to your board or an investor who you can truly work with, and you're going to trust their advice.
Well, first of all, you have to have a rock-solid business plan. And you have to be able to really, really get that plan across to people, get them to understand what it's about. I think the second thing you have to think through very clearly is just how much money you need and what milestone you're trying to reach. Sometimes people go out and try to get not enough money, and they end up undercapitalized. It's also true you could get too much capital, dilute yourself out from a valuation point of view. So the key things is knowing what you need and having a plan that'll withstand that or justify getting that kind of money.
Raise money from someone who has more to offer than just money. Raise money from someone who's going to help you deal with or understand something that's going on in your marketplace, is going to help you get introduced to people who are going to advance the cause of your business, whether they're advisors or potential partners or even customers. Raise money from people who are good board members, who listen attentively and understand the complexities of the problems that you're going to go through growing your business, and have a proven track record of helping other entrepreneurs to be successful.